Go Power Rangers, everybody. Yes, last night I did see the Power Rangers movie, Saban's Power Rangers, and I wanted to do this video last night, but I honestly needed time to process what I seen, and also I watched the original Power Rangers film, the '90s one, just to like give a kind of compare and contrast between the two before I do this video, and wow, I was pleasantly surprised is an understatement. Like I was awesomely surprised about how well this movie was. Like I was going in there, skeptical, and I had my hopes up because I was excited. Like this whole week leading up to last night, so I had mixed feelings about this film, but after watching it, I was so pleasantly surprised. There was a few nitbits in there I didn't like, but overall, it didn't ruin my overall thoughts of the film, and I was just so happy that I saw it. I was so happy. I actually, got to see it opening night. I did not see so many grown adults in my life in one location for a kids' teenage film. So there was more adults in the film watching the film than there were kids. So if there was five kids in there, that was a lot. Like I saw a mother and her baby, and then I saw like another couple with their kid, and but it was mostly adults. So I was like, wow, grown adults, are seeing this film, and honestly, the film was awesome. So I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free for this, I guess, quick review. But if I'm gonna talk to a spoiler, I will put a spoiler alert in there. So um, the first thing I'm gonna have to say was the beginning. The beginning was I was so not expecting that beginning. Um, well, there were rumors in that actually the film is gonna take place at a certain time period, but I wasn't expecting that beginning. That beginning was so, oh my god, does it set the tone for the film, and it really sets the tone for what kind of film this is gonna be. Now the second beginning, because there's like really two beginnings to that film. The second beginning was just funny as hell. It was so hilarious. I laughed. I laughed so hard, and almost everybody at the theater did. So the film as a whole is just great. But like, since this is an origin story, I was expecting them to like refresh everybody's mind on these classic characters: Zach, Trini, Jason, Kimberly, Billy. They're very different from their '90s counterpart that I am used to. So obviously, I was expecting them to do like a backstory on all of them, and honestly, they got a better backstory than their '90s counterpart, because their '90s counterpart, you don't even know their actually backstories well. They're typical whatever they thought an American family at the '90s would be. Maybe Kimberly, her parents are divorced in the '90s TV show, so you know. But I was really happy. The only thing is they kind of took too long developing the origin story, because the film is like 2 hours long. So it's like the first half of the film is actually introducing them. The second half of the film is them getting used to the fact that they have to become Power Rangers. And maybe the last, I would say, 35 minutes of the film is where we actually get to the classic '90s Power Rangers part. So it was awesome. It was a good balance, but at times, like in the middle section, I thought it got a little slow paced. But that was to introduce like the whole drama aspect, because we don't see the main villain Rita until a little bit, like maybe in the middle of the film is when we start to see her. So I can understand that, but it got a little dull in the middle part. But it honestly did not ruin it, because they quickly, like that little middle section that was slow paced, quickly got replaced, and we got right back into the meaty greedy of the film, and that was so good. I really was glad they actually did it. Drag it out that long, and they try to keep it as fresh as possible. Um, In the trailer, we do get like a minor training scene with them training with the putties, with the simulated putties. That whole section was just funny. It was classic Power Rangers right there. And what I really like about this film was the montage, the classic references to the original first three seasons and honestly beyond. I was not expecting references to like the other Power Ranger shows, but they did it anyway. They tried to reference as much as they can in 2 hours, and I'm just so like it was like an Easter egg hunt, basically. It was like an Easter egg hunt of just finding the Easter eggs to like the montages of the original series because there's so much. Um, there's certain catchphrases I wanted to hear that I got to hear in the film. Any true Power Ranger fan will catch those catchphrases like this, and it was just honestly, it was just a relief of fresh air that that they actually got to put as much references to the original series as they can. So I was really happy about that. Wow, I'm really trying to make this spoiler free, but I'm trying to make this as interesting as possible because this film is just this film. Any true fan of the Power Rangers will instantly love this film. They will love this film because it embraces the old, but it keeps it modern and it keeps it fresh and it keeps it into this modern time period. Like like the dark and gritty tone that I've been hearing about this film with a lot of reviews like on IGN.com and some other reviews. I don't agree with it a lot because like it wasn't really dark and gritty. I mean, at least to my at least what I was watching, it was very comedic. It was very funny. It was very quirky, like the '90s TV show. But it did get dark at times, but it wasn't like dark and gritty as like I was I was before I saw the film and I was watching some of these reviews. I was like, but from the trailer, it doesn't look that dark and gritty. I don't know why they're saying it's dark and gritty. And when I watched the film, I was like, it's not dark and gritty at all. Like the dark scenes weren't dark scenes. It was emotional scenes that gives emotional value to these characters. You know, the dark scenes of were really them bonding emotionally and creating that bond of friendship, which is a vital aspect of the original show. And of course the dark, gritty scenes with actually Rita, you know, it introduces her character because in the beginning of the film it sets tone. So obviously that tone of Rita has already been set. And when we go on throughout the film, it's like her, she's going to be very consistent with her dark tone because that's who she is. She is the villain. She is very dark. She is very gritty. She's very evil. Like they put that her in the beginning. But also in the '90s series, Rita is comedic. She is funny. And even though she's dark and evil in the film, she tried to be funny. At times it was a little weird because I was watching and I was like, okay, Rita, like when did you that was a weird punchline you just threw in there. Like it got weird her trying to be funny, but honestly it was just a reference to Rita in the '90s. Rita in the '90s was more a comedic villain than an actual evil villain. So it was a nice touch that they tried to do that comedic part of Rita, but honestly I think that was like the bad thing about Rita that I kind of had a little about is the fact that they try to put those little comedic points, and I think if they would have put them like in other parts of the film, it would have been better. But overall, I like this Rita. I really like this Rita. It's a complete difference from the '90s Rita, and how they did her backstory and how they explained her actually origins was awesome too. It fits so well into the tone of the film and the overall film franchise that they're gonna build. We did spoiler alert. So spoiler, guys. We got 2 guest stars. So that is right, Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger and the original Pink Ranger, guest starred in the new movie. I mean, they really made it obvious because they like had a perfect close up of them too. Like, even though it was only for like 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds at the most, but it was like, oh my god, like that is a perfect thing. Like, it was kind of like a send off, passing the torch. We have one of the most popular Power Ranger characters, Tommy Oliver, there, and Kimberly was every boy's dream as a kid because she's the original Pink Ranger, and of course in the series they were, they had that buttling coupling. I don't even know what to say, but they had that buttling coupley thing. So overall, this video was a perfect thing where they reference the old and they embrace this new superhero genre that has been created, with the previous superhero films, with DC, Marvel, all of these superhero films. They embrace what they took right, and they reference, the old and what they got right, and they mashed it together. They created such a great movie that honestly, even non-fans of Power Rangers will actually enjoy it. They won't enjoy it as much as the diehard fans, but they'll enjoy it. They'll probably enjoy it just as much as the fans do, but the fans will probably enjoy it more. So overall, if you're a non-Power Rangers fan, I'll give it about 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 at best. If you're a diehard Power Ranger fans and you know the source material, and you've seen every, not like every season of Power Rangers, but at least like maybe the first 5 seasons, it's diehard 8, 9 out of 10 at best. I mean, I can't even get it better than that. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because there were some things I didn't like about it, but I could give it a solid 8, 9 out of 10 at best. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and go Power Rangers.